For decades, the world was sold a massive lie about the West Coast. We were told Los Angeles was the ultimate destination. But in 2026, Los Angeles lost. And when you look at the facts, you realize exactly why San Diego destroyed every other city. What is the perfect American city? Perfect weather, perfect beaches, the Pacific Ocean on one side, Mexico on the other, and a skyline that rises from the water's edge, like it was placed there by someone who understood exactly what a city should look like. San Diego, California. It is drawing 35 million visitors a year, and almost every single one of them leaves asking the exact same question. Why did I wait so long? This is Wishspots, and by the end of this video, you are going to understand exactly how the most perfect city in America took the crown. Let's go. From above, San Diego reveals itself in a way that no street-level view ever could. This city covers 372 square miles along the Pacific coast. Its deepwater harbor is one of the finest in the world. Today, San Diego is home to the Pacific Fleet, the largest naval fleet on Earth, and the scale of that presence is extraordinary. The Coronado Bridge sweeps across the harbor in an elegant 2.1-mile concrete arc, rising 200 feet above the water. From a drone, it is the defining visual element of this city. Below it sits the USS Midway, 1,001 feet of aircraft carrier that served the US Navy for 47 years, now the most visited naval vessel museum in the world. But San Diego is hiding a secret beneath the harbor. The water here is so deep and protected that it became the strategic anchor of the entire US Pacific military presence. The Navy chose this bay because its geography is uniquely perfect for what they needed. Now, what happens above the water is completely different, and it starts with the oldest place in California. Before California was a state, there was a Spanish mission on a hill in Southern California. Old Town San Diego is the birthplace of California. Father Junipero Serra founded the Mission San Diego de Alcalá here in 1769. The adobe buildings and Spanish colonial architecture that define much of Southern California's aesthetic, it all began here over 250 years ago. Today, Old Town San Diego State Historic Park preserves this history. Walk its streets and you feel the weight of centuries that passed before the rest of the United States even knew California existed. California began on this hill, above this harbor, but what San Diego built on top of that history is what sets it apart. 1 mile from downtown sits Balboa Park, 1,200 acres of museums, gardens, and green space, the largest urban cultural park in America. It was built for the 1915 Panama, California Exposition. The stunning Spanish colonial revival buildings that line the Prado are architectural attractions in their own right. Inside are 15 museums, including the San Diego Museum of Art, celebrating its centennial in 2026. And at the northern edge, the San Diego Zoo. In 2026, the Safari Park opened the Denny Sanford Elephant Valley, a massive habitat modeled on the African landscape. It is consistently ranked among the greatest zoological parks in the world, housed inside a cultural universe most visitors never finish exploring. Cross the Coronado Bridge and the pace of San Diego changes immediately. Coronado Island is quieter, cleaner, and built for elegance. At the southern end of its pristine beach stands the Hotel del Coronado, a Victorian wooden beach resort operating since 1888. It is the largest wooden structure in the United States. 14 American presidents have stayed here, and in 1920, the Prince of Wales met Wallis Simpson on this sand. The love affair that caused a constitutional crisis in the British Empire began at a hotel on a beach in San Diego. The coast here is extraordinary, but the city's most dramatic landscape is still ahead. Drive north and San Diego transforms into La Jolla, the jewel. Perched on sandstone cliffs above the Pacific, La Jolla combines world-class surf beaches with a coastline so dramatic that the Scripps Institution of Oceanography was built right here. At La Jolla Cove, a protected inlet in the cliffs, California sea lions have established a permanent colony, not a zoo enclosure. Wild sea lions, hundreds of them, sleeping, barking, and completely ignoring humans just 15 feet away. The residents have chosen to coexist with this colony for decades. Wildlife and massive coastal wealth sharing the exact same rocks. Follow the coastline south, and San Diego reveals the beaches that put this city on the cultural map. Pacific Beach and Mission Beach form an unbroken string of golden sand that inspired an entire genre of American music. The Beach Boys wrote songs about this coast because this coast deserved songs. At the southern end sits Belmont Park, holding a wooden roller coaster that has been operating since 1925. The Giant Dipper. Almost 100 years old, it still draws lines on summer weekends because the people of San Diego refuse to let it close. As the sun drops over the Pacific, the downtown skyline takes over. Finally, at the southern tip of Point Loma, ancient geography meets modern warfare. Juan Rodriguez Cabrillo stepped ashore here in 1542, becoming the first European to set foot on the west coast. The Cabrillo National Monument marks that exact landing site, offering sweeping views of the entire bay. Because of this strategic position, Point Loma became home to the National Navy UDT SEAL Museum, which opened to the public for the first time in 2026. Perfect weather, 300 days of sunshine a year, the Pacific Ocean on one side, Mexico on the other, 70 miles of coastline, the greatest naval harbor in the world, the birthplace of California, wild sea lions, and 35 million visitors a year who all leave asking the same question. Why did I wait so long? San Diego does not shout. It does not demand your attention the way New York does or perform for you like Las Vegas. It simply exists in its sunshine, its history, and its extraordinary geography, and waits for you to notice. And the people who notice almost always come back. San Diego is not just the most famous American city, it might be the most perfect one. This is Wishspots. We will see you at the next wonder.